And a very warm welcome to you on the Lyca Radio Network YouTube. My name is Deep Rajah. For those of you who don't know me, I present Gold Drive weekdays at 4 o'clock on Lyca Gold. Now, with me is somebody I find very hard to describe because she's one of those people who is remarkable. I think what she's had to go through, both from Bollywood through to her own life, through to her family, through to career, has been almost life-changing. I'm pleased to say I've got a lady called Anu Aggarwal with me, who was a hit in Aashiqui, is a hit in today's society, and a Bollywood hit all the time. Anu, a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste. Okay, we're going to get straight to the point here because there's so much to talk to you about, and time
Sure.
is a little bit of the essence. Anu, some of the best work that you've done has come from films in the past like Ashiki, Lyca, The Cloud Door, Teruda, and so forth, quite a few. But I want to start with Ashiki because it's probably a film that most people remember you by in some shape or form. So let me ask you, what do you really recall about it most?
You know, Ashiki is my game changer. That's where I became a star overnight, and I have experienced something absolutely unbelievable for the common people, which I was a common person. I was a model, I was an international model, but so that is the first thing, game changer. The second thing is that it really gave me the opportunity because I was already working for women empowerment through my social work, and it gave me the opportunity to actually play the lead role of a girl who says, मैं खुद कुछ बनना चाहती हूँ, मैं अपने पैरों पे खड़ा होना चाहती हूँ, मैं अपना कुछ पाना चाहती हूँ.
Very good. That's the big thing.
Like, for me, that was like, wow, what a message to send out, to all the young girls.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Independence and be something. मैं कुछ बन सकती हूँ.
Sure.
और अपने पैरों पर खड़े हो सकती हूँ. A typical romance story, Ashiki always brings out some of the successful music as well as acting. But how far would you say Ashiki is prominent today with audiences?
Oh my God, Aashiqui 3 is being made. So I must say though that Ashiki, my Ashiki, which is the original Ashiki, they call me the original Ashiki girl, but anyway.
The original Ashiki girl, I like it, yes.
So Ashiki 2 got made, and now Ashiki 3 is in the queue. So, it became an iconic title. And I'm so privileged and grateful at the same time to have been a part of this sort of amazing film title, everything. Yeah,
Interesting. So look, moving on, a little bit more of a sensitive part of your life, because sadly you did experience a car accident that not only, should we say, changed your life, but put you into a coma for almost a month. How did it make you feel about life, and how did the direction in which your life path suddenly change because of it?
so I must tell you this, that something that is not being picked up for some reason, I don't know why, by the media still. I left movies in 4 years before the actual accident, and I went into yoga university in 97 and stayed there for a couple of years. In 99 is the crash. Now, already a transformation had happened in me when I went into this yoga place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was already thinking and I was already back only for a little time, because I was going back to open the Guruji, big Guruji over there said, look, you're amazing, you should just stay here, become a sannyasi. And he said, like, become a monk there. And what would you like to do? And I said, I would love to open an old age home for old people where we treat them yogically and naturally. And he said, okay. And then I said, the other thing I want to do is work with the girls, children. And I already started like this bicycling thing with the children, with the girls in the village. And so I was going to do that. But unfortunately, or fortunately, instead, the crash happened, which was absolutely unknown, like most, all unknown, all big accidents or any, unexpected things are. And for me, it was actually an awakening, because the personal transformation had already happened. I had already gone within me. I was living my life from the inside out.
Right. So
Right.
the crash was just.
So the crash was a push to a final awakening, where I actually went and met my Atman, my innermost self, because the body broke down, and the body breaks down, what is remaining.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
so I am, and that's where I said we are all one, and the compassion, and the silence, and the and the the will to just help others work with them. That's how the foundation came.
Thanks. So we'll be talking about that in a moment. But you talking about the change in you. You claim to have suffered a bit of memory loss, or shall we say, just recalling large chunks of the past. Now, can you describe that feeling and the effect it kind of had on you and your family and friends? Because obviously, something like that doesn't just affect you; it affects others too, especially the ones around you.
Yeah, absolutely. You are so right on that. And so what I had, what actually happened is that I had a skull fracture, and the hippocampus in my brain was damaged, which resulted in the loss of memory. And on the same hand, when the memory loss happened, I had an identity loss that happened, because I didn't know my past. I didn't know Anu Aggarwal
Right.
or anything else related with Anu, like the parents, like stardom, like the surrounding, the friends, the surrounds, even earth, even sky, moon, nothing. I didn't know anything. I literally have started from
Total blank, is
scratch.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Wow.
didn't know a language. It took many years before I could even speak a language. I didn't know English or Hindi, which is spoken, in India. Anyhow, but the thing is this, that on the other hand, I could see people's psyche. It gave me an opportunity to actually see what is going on inside people, and that's where I saw the depressions and the anxiety and all of the mental illnesses that there actually are, which are not even talked about, because it is such a big stigma attached, to mental health, and as a result of which people don't come out and say, look, I have this problem. So there are a lot of people who are suffering alone, and that's so sad. And so that was the reason my foundation, which I started, was for the first thing is mental health, focusing on mental health.
Well, we'll look at that. I just want to touch on something that you mentioned just now, and the fact that you are saying that some of the anxiety you saw people having, some of the depression you saw people having, some of the mental illnesses that you saw people again suffering from, when you were in that state or recovering from that unfortunate accident, could you see it from a different angle, where maybe you're thinking, even they're lucky to feel that rather than not?
Oh my God, that's exactly what I'm telling you, that not unfortunate, let's start to call it fortunate.
Because very positive way of looking at things, yes.
No, because I'm the proof, right?
Yes,
I'm sitting here, and I am doing so much of good for the well-deserved. I mean, the people who nobody is looking at or caring about, the marginalized societies at the grassroots level, the sustainability that all the UN is talking about, that I am also adhering to. In fact, we are about to tie up with another foundation which is directly representing United Nations. So again, then working with women and children. So I think, look at the good that came out of it.
Very true. Nice way of looking at it.
Stuck in the film world, and you know how it is. Like, the film world is not very becoming to age, Right. Let's be honest about that. And
Okay.
then you're just hanging in there. There's so many actors who have been around for 20, 30 years, 40 years, and you see that they're just there. They dress up and come to parties and waiting for one film. You know, I mean, that's it's a sad situation. I mean, I'm so glad that I'm here. You know, I'm writing a book. I just finished another book. the
Oh,
second book.
congratulations. Yes.
Thank you.
Right, moving on from that. That's
Everyone to
interesting.
read it.
No, we will definitely have a look at it one another time. But the other thing is looking. I want to look a bit more forward now.
Sure,
And
sure.
I found when I was researching a little bit on you, you've got a passion for yoga, and you also decided to become a monk. How and why did you feel you could relate to becoming a monk and yoga so passionately?
You know, first of all, I just want to say one simple line to you, which is that you are enough. Okay?
Okay.
Now, I'm just saying one line. And the other line I would say to you is, you are peace. And we are this, but we are so far away from this. From realizing it and addressing it and saying, yes, this is me. I am this. No, we're saying, oh my God, that happened. I'm so depressed. Oh God, tomorrow's coming and I have to do this and that. So we're living in the past and the future. So living in the now, which even Eckhart Tolle has really talked about a lot, which I really, I completely gel with him for, because this is the life that I've been living. When I read The Power of Now, I was already living that, and so it just completely resonated with me. So therefore, what the entire yoga and the monkhood and everything, what it has done, I'm telling you the side effects of it,
Yeah.
is that it brought me a realization of these things, and therefore now I can get out and administer it. Yesterday, in fact, last evening, I took a class of Yoga Nidra, and which I've been trained to teach.
Wow.
And it works on all your on your sleep disorders, on all your sleep apneas, on all your, and more than just physically and mentally, it takes you to psychic meditation. It takes you to psychic levels apart from the soul. So look at the good that is coming out, and I think that's what I would like to.
But what ignited your passion for yoga? Because yoga, there's so many styles of yoga. Why yoga?
So yoga is actually, I would say, a very misunderstood word.
Right.
Yoga is actually not a physical practice. Yoga is a style of life,
Yes.
and that's my second book is about that.
Right. So
Okay.
I've touched on the nail there.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So I have given styles of living in that, and you will read about it.
We'll
talk
have a look
about
at it.
when the book comes out.
Absolutely. Yes, exactly. Look, then, okay, moving on from that, the Anu Aggarwal Foundation, or AAF, I was looking at that. So very, very interesting indeed. You've set it up, and it focuses a lot on actually fighting mental health.
Right.
It also looks at illnesses where you can use yoga practices and target disabled people,
Sure.
for example. Can you tell me a bit more about this? Where is the connection between mental illness and disability? Plus, why is it so important to you?
So what you're saying. Now, first of all, what I want to say here is that your mind is actually your God.
Right.
Because the mind decides which way to go, what to do, what to like, what to dislike, all of that is a play of the mind. The mind, in fact, there was a yoga teacher who made a really of mine when I was in the yoga university by the Ganga. He lived there for many, many years and took monkhood there. So he said, mind is the savior, mind is the slayer. So first of all, what we need to get is awareness. We need to be aware of why we are reacting the way we are reacting.
Okay.
So even like if you see, so we have a project going on cancer patients, cancer kids. So we focus on kids. So
Child
like we
cancer,
are
yeah.
focusing on children between the age group 3 to 16 who are HIV positive.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We are focusing on like when we say
That's
cancer,
very focused. Yeah.
it is the children who have cancer, right?
Right.
Now the thing is that first of all, cancer, for instance, now I mean I'm driving out of your question a little bit, which when I'm talking about cancer is actually completely psychosomatic. Now this is proven, with the entire science of the old spiritual science that we had, which talks about how even what the body actually starts to resist. Cancer is created inside the body. It's not created outside. It's not an external disease. It's created because of the imbalances that are happening in your body now. So awareness is important. So is creating balance.
Right.
Balance between your ups and downs, the rights and wrongs, the good and bad. So all of these things are related directly to all the problems, all the diseases,
Okay.
and also to your mental framework.
So just let me push this back to the question again.
Yeah, sure.
The idea of working with disabled people and mentally ill people, where do you see the connection?
Because the first of all, the disabled people. Now, I will talk about myself. I'm not going to give you a general answer because people can get general answers on Google.
Of course, yes, yes, yeah.
So, my answer is that first of all, these, again, the stigma, they have low self-confidence, and of course, it's like I have something bad, right?
Right.
It's not a good feeling. Now, nobody comes near me because I have this problem. So your self-esteem goes down. Now, Anu Aggarwal, the star, goes and says hi to everyone and gets them to smile and plays games with them and gets them to jump and dance. Or if they can't get off a wheelchair, get into very simple, I teach like very simple meditations where they go inside, close their eyes, breathe, get, relax, feel good, the entire feel good factor.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Interesting, very, very interesting. So it's making people, I think it sounds like you're giving people with a low self-esteem much more self-esteem.
Exactly.
Is that right? Yeah.
And also, I want to say this, that my foundation, so it is established in India.
Yes.
And it has, we got like sort of, we could do things within India and we got donations within India and it was like we were working there. Just last year, we have got FCRA, which is like now we can work in the worldwide.
CRA is what?
FCRA is foreign.
Oh, FCRA. Sorry, yes, foreign. Yes, okay. All right.
So now we can work. I would love to expand and do things here in UK.
Okay, interesting.
You
Well, let's
know,
see what we can
with
do.
the children.
Just, it's an interesting point there because there is a lot of British Asian children with that kind of thing, and we can look at that. Do you ever think that? I mean, obviously, people still remember you for Bollywood, and always, I think, always will. Do you ever think that you could combine your amazing Bollywood talent skills along with your foundation, which
my
is,
God.
again, doing a very good thing, and combine the mental illness stigmas together so that people will then start saying,
Completely.
look, I am not just, being a mentally ill patient is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And only until you get to that Bollywood point where people
Right.
listen, do you think you could do that?
I'm doing that.
Well,
You caught me there.
that's my job. I'm trying to. Go ahead.
You've done a lot of study. Have you seen? So I'm already hearing film scripts, and I'm going to act because I have fans who are just like, I get so much of emails and so much on social media. When are we seeing you on screen? And I thought, like, what the hell? This is social work too. So this is like, you can't just like focus here and you need to get back, and that is my profession. Acting is my profession.
Yes, but do you
Acting
really
and
think?
modeling.
Do you feel? But do you think that you could combine that acting
Definitely
skills with mental illness?
Of course.
so
Of
that it
course.
stops the stigma.
Of course. So, so one of the things is that what I had in mind, because it is so prevalent in Bollywood, in not just Bollywood, in everywhere. See, when you have a public persona, it's a very trying thing. And it's a bit strange, I mean, you just suddenly you're like, from a normal person, it happens to everybody who becomes a star all over the world.
Well, what happens? Tell me.
That it happens that suddenly the public knows you.
Yes.
So when you're going out, it's like, wow, so they associate you. Like, in fact, yesterday I was reading a quote, a little 2 quotes by Jim Carrey. And he went through this, and he's gone off completely off the thing, and he was saying the same thing, that when you're there, everyone just identifies you with that character that they've seen that you're famous for. Luckily for me, Ashiki is a very down to earth, simple, innocent character, which is very close to who I am.
But an effective character as well. I will give you that.
So luckily for me, if I'm called the Aashiqui girl, it's not like completely driving away from my real character of who I am.
Yes.
So yes, so it's so within the film industry, within the stars all over the world, we need to calm our minds, and I have a dosage for that, which I'm ready to give. So let me get back in, and I will keep you posted.
I think it's a good idea. Finally, last but not least, because I know time is of the essence, but Anu, let me ask you, what advice would you give to my audience out there listening about everything you've gone through, not just the film, but everything, and still manage to go from one end and come out the other almost, I can say, this is a stronger, more passionate young lady. How have you managed to do this? Or what advice would you give them?
The advice I would give is, first of all, I would say that you have no limits. I have seen that in my own life. When the doctor said I would die in 3 years. And I came out on a wheelchair from the hospital, I had to be lifted from the wheelchair to the car because I had absolutely no body consciousness. And I had out-of-body experiences, what have you. Now, what I would like to say to you is that whatever you're going through, because life is not easy. True. Nobody's life is easy. Everyone's having some or the other issues in their life. And I would say, just remember that there is no limits to what you can do and achieve. And never ever give up. Because you are going to make it. Believe in it.
Wow. Anu Aggarwal, what can I say? It's been a pleasure to speak to you, and very, very interesting indeed. And I hope that one day we will meet again once you've written your book and have another good old chat. Anu Aggarwal, thank you for coming on to Lyca YouTube,
thank you so much
Network.
for watching. Thank you.
My name is Deep Rajah. I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.
Bye.